There is something going on in Atlanta I wanted to bring up because it's an interesting story that maybe someone listening could have been burned by. It has to do with squatters.
I had a friend who had a rental in Atlanta and squatters came in. It took a year to get them out. Like lost rent for a year.
It's amazing that the laws favor these delinquents.
And why do they?
I don't know why that doesn't change. I had that happen I used to own a condo at Atlantic Station right there at the Atlantic, that really tall building.
You did?
And one of the people from, and my fault for renting them, the unit from Real Housewives of Atlanta, rented it from me.
Oh, you never told this story.
I don't know if I have or not, but they paid in all cash first. They tried to, and I said, you got to go get, I can't take this money. They're trying to pay me in all cash for the whole year. The credit was so bad that I said, you can rent this, but you need to pay for the year. And a year later, they wouldn't get out.
This is insane.
And they have so many rights. I had to go finally get an eviction. I tried to film the eviction. They wouldn't let me. But it's a circus. Someday I'll tell that story, but I don't want to get legal because it got ugly. Like, it just was very bad. But there's a thing going on in Atlanta, this phenomenon sweeping through the ATL.
What?
But first, I want to play a clip of you. This is the CEO of the National Rental Home Council, David Howard. Listen to this.
We're seeing situations of trespassing in Atlanta that we're not seeing anywhere else in this country. We need to talk about this for what it is. This is criminal trespassing.
And it's at a bad level. So this quote...
It is criminal trespassing.
Yes. This quote stemmed from a news story about an Instagram ad seen all around Atlanta from a company called One Time Payment Homes. And at first glance...
One Time Payment Homes, okay.
Yep, it looks like another real estate pro hustling to rent homes on social media. But a closer look spells it out. A one-time payment. And the home is yours. That's it. Just like the name. One-time payment homes. No mortgage, no rent, and that's the deal being advertised on Instagram.
I don't understand.
The catch is that you become a squatter, also known as a criminal. So now the account states clearly they have no legal right to these homes, but obviously people are not paying attention. But at one-time payment homes, this site makes it clear that these are just for you to take. So they're encouraging you to be a thief.
And they're getting the payment, the one-time payment?
Yes. The company's owners will come out, and so will the police.
Are they just finding, like, random empty homes?
Yes. And the police will tell you there's nothing they can do about it. Squatters' rights.
This is insane.
So WSB got involved, the reporter Justin Gray, and here's a clip from one of the local homeowners that got hustled. And this is from WSB.
It's like I gave away $200,000 is how I feel.
Michael Holmes used his life savings to buy this DeKalb County home out of foreclosure 8 months ago as a rental property.
It's been a nightmare.
The alleged squatter living inside has filed more than 30 motions in court to tie up Holmes' effort to get him out.
If I can't bring this to some type of resolution, I'll be in jeopardy of filing bankruptcy.
One-Time Payment Homes is running a New Year's special, $1,400 for keys and a lease. So as a squatter, you can, quote, stack money and turn your life around.
And it makes you feel like, why do you play by the rules if everyone doesn't have to?
How can they get away with, obviously they're changing locks.
This is unbelievable. Doesn't this scare you?
Yeah, it's happening to multiple people. So Channel 2, kudos to them. They went undercover to try to confront these people. Only problem is Channel 2 showed up in the Channel 2 van when they went to go meet the guy.
They weren't undercover? Are you serious?
Can you believe that?
Oh,
they showed up in the van.
No.
And they had a person from One Time Payment Homes, a representative, agreed to meet them. And then here's what happened. So they come up in the van, and what happens? The dude flees.
Hey, sir, it's Justin Gray with Channel 2. Are you selling a squatter home right here? You got the keys? Did you talk to JP about the keys?
The dude ran away.
This This is unbelievable.
So anyway, be on the lookout for things like this.
Bards, this is crazy.
It is complete. It's been going on for like over a year that all these people are just showing up. So if you have a rental home or something and you don't go by often, that's when they're infiltrating these houses and just taking over.
Yeah, we'll have to ask Jimmy Barron about this, because I imagine he's had some clients that have gone through this.
Maybe not a happy ending, but a silver lining.
Wow.
After Gray's investigation aired, he sent a link to Instagram, and Instagram said they ended up taking the account down for violating their terms of service. But
that's good.
Well, that's not the only place they can advertise. So just sometimes when you're desperate for money, you'll make some stupid decisions. But know that this company is out there, and they are definitely in play. But what does it take to get them thrown in jail?
This has to happen because the squatters' rights, I mean, I've had friends that have been burned by this, and it's going on all over the world, all over the country.
And it's so hard to get them out. I had to pay whatever, I forget, this has been several years, but I had to pay so much just to get the company to go evict them. And so you show up, and they give you a day, the sheriff comes, and looks like a bunch of guys who used to play college football with big, hefty bags. And they were in and out of my condo in seconds, it seemed, throwing that person's stuff out, and they take it and they literally put it on the curb.
Do you think this ever happens to people that rent an Airbnb and then they just stay and never leave?
I'd have fear of it. It happened in L.A. recently. There was a lady who rented a very swanky above apartment condo, I believe, and she wouldn't leave. So they get in there, change the locks, and then squat.
Can I ask a question? Why do squatters have rights?
Man, that's the $1 million question.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, why, oh why? So beware. Okay, so there was a story that we put out the other day about this scam that's going around Atlanta. In the story, we did get something wrong. Matt C., our producer, had given us some information that is not true, and we thought it was kind of weird when we said it. They showed up in the Channel 2 van, which would be...
Let's announce ourselves.
Right, you're not so undercover. And here's what happened when they arrived.
Hey, sir, it's Justin Gray with Channel 2. Are you selling a squatter home right here? You got the keys? Did you talk to JP about the keys?
So then the dude ran.
Of course.
So joining us now, the guy behind the story, Justin Gray from Channel 2. Hey, Justin.
Hey, guys. Yeah, we did not show up to an undercover sting in a logoed van, and I was driving my child to daycare when I heard that on the radio. Listen. And I had to call and say, no, that was not how it happened.
I'm glad you did.
It's a really fascinating story, a really big problem here in Atlanta, though, but we're really trying to peel back the layers on, because this is affecting, we think there's 1,200 squatters right now in Metro Atlanta homes.
Wow. That's out of control.
1,200.
Yeah, that was the number testified in the state Senate, or state house just 2 weeks ago. So it's an incredible growing problem, and Atlanta is tops in the country. It's one of those things you don't want to be number one in.
Is this company, One Time Payment Homes, are they shut down now?
So after our story, I forwarded our story to Meta, to Facebook and Instagram, and they shut them down. There could be, it's possible they've started another account they're trying to get started. We'll keep sending that information on to Instagram to keep them shutting them down. But we've been told multiple people reported them over a series of months and nothing happened.
This is out of control, just the squatter situation in general. Why are there no laws on the books against this?
And so that's one of the things that's happening right now. After we've done a series of stories on this issue, we did a story with a colonel in the military. She put her house for sale. She was on active duty. Squatters moved in. So right now they're treating it like it's just a run-of-the-mill eviction, right? Not like if somebody stole your car, this is not how they would handle it. But right now that's sort of how the courts are typically treating it. So there's a couple bills being introduced in the state house that would make it clear, hey, this is a crime. Somebody trespassed, it's a crime, and it needs to be treated that way, not going to eviction court where it could stretch out for 6-9 months, which is what these squatters are hoping for.
Man, if this was a few years ago, I would have had a damn good story for you, Justin. I had a condo down over by Atlantic Station, and one of the people from Real Housewives of Atlanta rented from me, and their credit was so bad, I made them pay the full year in advance. And then when it came around to renew, they wouldn't pay and they wouldn't leave.
Yeah.
And it's essentially the same thing. You're the right.
Yep, that's exactly it. You're not going to tell us who it is, are you?
I really wish I could, but I can't. Obviously, there were, we took them to court and never got our money, but maybe that's a side story.
And it took months, right? I mean, it takes a while to get through that process.
Oh, yeah. It's happened to people I know, yes.
You can't get them out of your home. They have all. What about that story in L.A.? There was some lady who rented an Airbnb and then wouldn't leave. Does that happen in Atlanta also?
Well, that Michael Holmes, who was in the story, the person in his home has filed more than 40 motions in court. So, but continues to tie this up in court, and you can show a police officer essentially something with your name scribbled on it and start this process. That's another part of the bill in the legislature that would help address this, where if you present a fake lease, that's considered another crime and you could face more charges. So those are the things. I mean, as long as you have something with your name on it, you show it to a cop, they're going to say, you got to go through the court process.
Ugh.
So, Justin, we're talking to Justin Gray from WSB about squatters. Are you going to continue investigating this story in the future?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is one we've seen this problem over the past year really grow when we started doing stories. That's why we decided to do the undercover investigation, because we saw it being a bigger story. And it's something we're definitely going to stay on. We have a series of stories lined up over the next few months we're going to work on, because I think it's such a big issue that if Atlanta doesn't nip in the bud, it's going to spread all across the country. That's what some of the national folks were telling us. They're starting to see it now other places because it's been so successful for these crooks here in Atlanta. And that's what it is. It's a crime, right? It's not a way to stack money and, get your life in order. You're taking somebody else's hard-earned possession and stealing it.
A lot of us probably know a lot of people who, as a side hustle, have rental properties or have, they rent out, they do Airbnb. How can people even begin to protect themselves?
It's a great question.
From these people taking over their property just at will?
Yeah, and that's the tricky thing, right? I mean, I think you have to be very, very careful with how you advertise your property, how you, a lot of these are ones where they have the lockbox there. You can use some of these websites to conveniently get an appointment to see a home, and then that's when they switch the locks. So I think you have to go back to some of the old-fashioned ways, unfortunately, of renting out a home and see the people in person, which if you own multiple homes is difficult. But if you're a guy who has just maybe one investment property, you're going to have to see all those people face to face who want to see the house about potentially renting it.
Man, this is scary stuff, man. The Airbnb part should scare the hell out of people.
Yeah, and I think you got on this big thing. We're not talking about big bad landlord in a lot of cases, right?
No.
This is one person with their big investment trying to help their family.
Well, keep your eye out. They were called one-time payment homes, but anything that falls in that align with that, it sounds like a scheme. It probably is, and a scam. So Justin Gray, WSB Channel 2, we'll keep following that. You do a great job, man. I love your job. You get to do the undercover stuff. It's
incredible.
Yeah, it's the fun part, right? We're helping people. How often do you have a job where you're paid to help people? So it's great, and we're excited you guys are back. I was an Emory College student in the late 90s, so nice. 9A9X is important to me, and I'm so thrilled you guys are back.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for listening. Have a great day. We'll keep our eye on the story.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Justin, we'll see you later. Justin Gray over at Channel 2. This is the original. It is 99X.